The good doctor pulled up an old chair into the vicinity of his patient. It was always best to be close enough to hear what they were saying, he thought. They always seemed to appreciate feeling heard. He crossed one leg over the top of the other and produced a yellow legal pad from the table next to the sofa upon which the patient lay, and whipped a pencil out from behind his ear in a smooth motion, the act of a man who has seen this same scenario many times, with just as many patients. He asked his patient if he was comfortable. "Yes," he said. "Good," said the doctor. "So, you asked for an appointment. Something is obviously on your mind. Why don't you take a breath and tell me what's going on whenever you feel comfortable?" The patient, clearly nervous, took a breath, nervously straightened the wrinkles on the legs of his pants, and cleared his throat. "Well, I don't want to sound like a lunatic. I'm a normal person, you know. A regular guy." The doctor nodded. "But I think I'm being haunted." "Haunted?" the doctor said. "Not like your regular haunting, in old houses and whatnot. Look, I go to sleep at night. I have a dream. You follow? There have been many twists and turns so far, but I'm still with you," said the doctor. "Well, I have different dreams every night. Sometimes I might talk about fish with someone. I dream about fish. Sometimes I see a cruise commercial. I dream about sailing. It's always different. Different place, different people, different faces. All except one." He looked at the doctor and held up his index finger. "There's one ain't never changes." The doctor shrugged. "Who is he?" "I don't know. I ain't never seen him before. That's why I come to you." "Well, I don't know who he is. He has to be someone from your mind," said the doctor. No. I searched my mind for a face like that. I looked at everyone I ever met. There's nobody got a face like that." "There has to be somebody. What does he look like? Maybe we can start there," said the doctor. "Square chin, mostly bald head." The doctor's voice took on a different note as he said, "Bushy eyebrows, brown eyes." The patient started and looked at him. "Yeah. Say, how do you know that?" The psychiatrist reached into his drawer and received a paper, which he then showed to his patient. "Is this the man?" "That's him. That's the guy," he said. "Who is he?" "I don't know." "What do you mean you don't know? That's his picture. That's him." "This is a composite drawing from a description given by another patient who kept having the same man appear in her dreams," said the doctor. She also didn't know who he was. Over a short period of time, the doctor encountered 2 more patients who had the same problem. The man would show up in every single dream they had as the only recurring character. Normally, his role in the dream was a non-speaking part, but sometimes he would just speak long enough to say something cryptic like, "Go north." The doctor began sharing this strange phenomenon with colleagues in the field about how strange it was that 4 separate people had suddenly begun to dream of the same mysterious person whom none of them had ever known. But the doctor was not prepared for the response he received. All of his colleagues, it turned out, also had patients who were dreaming of this man. When they compared composites, they were identical. Over the next few years, they would collect information from people who had experienced this phenomena. Then, 2 years later in the winter of 2008, a man by the name of Andrea Natella was paid a visit by the mysterious man in a dream. It was one of his rare speaking appearances. Natella was told by the figure that he was to create a website dedicated to the phenomena, and that he would find the answers that he sought. Natella did exactly this, and that same year, thisman.org would be launched. Flyers were hung around cities with the composite drawing of this man at the top, along with a caption saying, "Ever dream of this man?" Every night all over the world, hundreds of people see this face in their dreams. If this man appears in your dreams too, or you have any information that can help us identify him, please contact us, with the website address written at the bottom of the page. Answers did not necessarily come, but information did. More than Natella was prepared for, in fact. In the first year, the website received more than 9,000 messages from users who claimed to have encountered this man in their dreams. Some sent drawings that they had made of him before they had seen the website. Some sent photographs of people they knew who seemed to resemble this mysterious man. Others described their encounters with him. Perhaps one of the most bizarre aspects of these accounts was the way he continually appeared in different roles. In some, he was the dreamer's father. In others, he was a lover. One person dreamed that he was a six-fingered school teacher from Brazil. In some, he seemed to be more of a menacing presence, silently watching the dreamer. But the changing roles that he seemed to take on left anyone looking for answers baffled. There didn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. But others speculate that this man was a version of characters that everyone had likely seen in real life. For example, the man from another place from Twin Peaks, the dummy from the Twilight Zone. Andrew Lloyd Webber was given as a possibility, along with Stephen Hawking, among others. But none of these people really looked that much like the sketch. In lieu of answers, thisman.org posted 5 theories about him. The first had to do with Jungian psychology positing that this man may be a manifestation of an archetypal image. In other words, it was possible that this man was an inherited image in the collective minds of all human beings, manifesting itself through dreams. Why would it have suddenly begun at the same time for thousands of people across the world? We don't know. The religious theory was very much in line with the Jungian theory of an archetypal image. The belief being that this face was a manifestation of God himself. The dream surfer is a third theory, which posits that someone somewhere sits alone in a room, mentally projecting himself into other people's dreams. A mental intruder of sorts. What purpose this would serve is a question that arises when contemplating this theory. Another question is whether or not a single dream surfer would even have the mental capacity to project himself into thousands of people's dreams at the same time, let alone simultaneously doing different things in different roles in each of them. A fourth theory, perhaps a little more down-to-earth than the other 3, is the dream imitation theory, which posits that these dreams come after already learning of this man, and thus having his image in their minds to dream about. This seems possible, but what about people who spoke of these dreams before it was well publicized? And the fifth theory has to do with daytime recognition. The thought is that people have a poor memory of their dreams and the faces that appear in it, and thus automatically conform the image to fit the composite of this man when they see him. But none of these theories, it turns out, would be relevant. You see, from the beginning, there were skeptics of this story. Perhaps suspicion arose because of the lack of detail provided in the story. There's just enough there to pique your interest, but not enough information to allow you to independently verify any of the details. It's a telltale sign of a fake story, generally speaking. Many suspected that this was actually a guerrilla marketing stunt. In fact, using a reverse IP lookup, the site was shown to be registered to another domain by the name of guerrillamarketing.it. It was a company known as a fake advertising agency whose goal was to design hoaxes. The hardcore believers were, of course, not convinced of this, but if this fact weren't enough for them, perhaps the words of Nutella himself would convince them. In 2010, he made a statement posted to the website of Kook Argency, which was an art company that he had founded, stating once and for all that he had invented the story. It was all made up. So, there you have it. The story of this man who appeared in thousands of dreams all across the world was entirely made up as an advertising gimmick. But there still remains a bit of mystery here. If this was advertising, it wasn't very good. Sure, it got attention, but what did it advertise? Some sources claimed that the site was an advertising gimmick for Ghost House Films, but that has never been confirmed. Moreover, many people have stories, which are seemingly legitimate, who claim to have encountered this man in their dreams. Is he appearing because the popularity of the hoax put his face firmly in their minds? Or are there other reasons? Whatever the cause, this man seems, to some degree, to have crossed over from fantasy into the real dreams of people. Sleep tight.